Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a quad screen display solution for your laptop, Mac, or Windows PC. And it comes in this compact solution. This is the quad extended display tetrad monitor workstation. Model number, and again, this is the Z4 Pro. Basically, these are three 15.6-inch monitors connected that are going to give you a 30-inch wide screen for your laptop. You heard that right. And not only is it going to give you a 30-inch wide screen, either full landscape mode or individual screens if you like, but it also has a built-in stand. This right here, which is your travel handle, is also your monitor stand. You see this right here? It's magnetic. It connects and it rotates either horizontally or vertically, depending on the type of monitor setup you want. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Now you have multiple configuration options when it comes to the configuration of the screen. And I could have this rotated the other way. I kind of like this setting right here. I like kind of like the vertical placement because it really is great for content consumption, right? As I'm going to be reading stuff or getting content from different tables or charts that I'm looking for. I also then, because I have this facing in this orientation, and by the way, your Windows software, your Mac software allows you to flip the screens, so this, for example, can be flipped regardless of how the monitors are positioned. You'll notice that I have the cables coming out from the top, but I could actually have this rotated where the cables are hidden and coming from the bottom. That is something that, that I could do if I chose to do it. Now, in order to be able to run the software, or at least the screens, you have to have the right drivers installed. And the drivers are included in a USB key that you'll just download and install. There's software that is used for Windows, and then if you're a Mac user, like we are as well, there's software that you would use on the Mac side as well. Now, you'll notice here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring my mouse up. This is all based on Windows configuration, right? So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so you can see my configuration that I have going on right here. Hold on a second. Now, what you'll see from my Windows configuration, I have the laptop as position 1. I have this screen on this side as position, or monitor 2, 3, and I have 4. Now, you'll notice that in this case, and with Mac and Windows, it's going to be a little bit different, but this will give you a sense of how you can configure things. I have this as my primary screen, obviously, but then I've positioned these, and this is just dragging and dropping, right? So I have them. So what I did is I positioned them so that as I travel upwards, this middle screen is where my mouse is going to go. You could do it sideways too if that's something that you wanted to, but I have it configured this way. So I'm going up and I'm coming down, and then you notice my 4 is over here. So if I go up to 3, I can come over to 4, and you can see how my mouse pointer moves over there. I could also do that just by going at an angle, right? And it's going to come up over here because basically the way I positioned it is that my laptop is going to be at the bottom, and then I'm going to have the screens on the side. Now I can rotate this completely and have all 3 screens almost, going from the bottom up. I don't like it that way because I find that I'll be losing, one of the screens. Either one of the screens are going to be on the left or one of the screens are going to be on the right, and one of them is going to be at the same height of the laptop, right? So if I took this right here and rotated it, I would have to have it on the left or the right. I kind of like this kind of cockpit design. It's more immersive, and it just gives me, again, a lot more to work with. So a lot of flexibility here. And then also, the actual mounting system, as we saw, is magnetic. So you can actually rotate it, right? So I can change this if I want it completely, right? By just moving it around and then adjusting the actual angle that I have in the back. But I really like the fact that, you have that flexibility. Now, if you have another mount and you wanted to put this, let's say, at a desktop, which I could see someone doing this as well, as long as you could use a monitor arm, and you can use a monitor arm that moves up and down, you could have this as screens that are in a vertical mode as opposed to horizontal, where I can have it, the other way like this, and then move it around. But what I also like, and I don't know if this is coming off on the mic, but I'm going to just stay quiet and turn things. Listen to this. Can you hear that clicking? I don't know if that clicking is coming across. But as I'm rotating the screens, you actually get this feedback, and it's very smooth, but you get click, 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 letting you know that you're rotating. You have several ways that you can actually connect the monitor. Actually, you have 2. You could either use an HDMI or you could use a USB-C cable. Now, the very first input right here, the one that's at the very first position, and I'm talking about going from right to left, or if this was rotated the other way, the very bottom one, this is going to be your video out. So I have this one connected to my Windows laptop here. Your next cable that you have going on here is going to be something that is optional, but this is going to be your HDMI cable. I do not have it connected, but you can see the HDMI cable right here. right? This is something I could use, but my laptop doesn't have HDMI. And then the last one is my power. That's going to a actual plug, an outlet. I actually have a power bank on the side that's actually supplying power for that. So that's going to give me my power here. So those are kind of like your choices when you come. Now there is a little dial that I'll show you in a second that is kind of like, so you can go into menu and can you do different configurations, but I just wanted to show you how it looks outside of the box, or as soon as you get it out of the box and configure it. I'm going to put this in an angle position just for a second so I can show you what does content look like when you actually open up some content. So here I'm tracking some of the cryptocurrencies that are going on in the market. I'm going to go ahead and look at the S&P 500 on this side right here. You can see how nicely that came up. And this is going to give you kind of a sense of how this really can become, like a super powerful solution for you to just monitor all the activity that's going on in the markets if you're looking to track market data. And look at how great this looks. Right? You go boom, 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 you have them all there. And then what I could do is I could have another one over here in the middle. So I'm looking at market data here. So you can see that right there. I have a monitor there, and then I have a monitor there and a monitor there. And actually, this is just one monitor setup, but it gives you that super broker kind of capability. Now, in addition to doing stuff like this, and I'm going to lower this so that we don't get a lot of brightness. Now let's watch how you can run a video in one of these monitors and see how much lag there is, if there's any lag at all. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Wish it was touchscreen, right? It's not touchscreen because my laptop is touchscreen, but I'll go ahead and hit play. So this is, again, that screen playing. This looks really good. This is going out really smooth. It is not lagging in any way. So I know that a little bit of this has to do with the actual network itself, but this is performing really well. This is actually a video that we did when we went to CES, looking at a new bike manufacturer that's coming to North America. But this is working out well. Now, the other thing that you have is you do have speakers in the actual monitors themselves, so you can have that play back. Now, while there are speakers built in, I have it at the loudest volume, and it's not really super loud whatsoever. I don't know if it has to do with my configuration, but it's just that. And what I also noticed is that there are no volume controls for the monitor, right? So I'm checking over here. I have my jog wheel right here. That's it, but there's nothing else. When I tap on this button right here as the monitor is on, I'm going to get this little menu right here. And let's go ahead and pan over to that so you can see that right there. And that menu that you see there, that is kind of in that position because I have the screens rotated in this way, but we'll bring it up again. What this is going to do for us is it's going to allow us to change the contrast, gamma. There's all these different settings that are standard with monitors. I don't really mess with this unless I really have to, but it is what it is. I don't really see an area where I can actually increase the volume, right? I can definitely do a lot of stuff when it comes to the screen itself. And I did see, hold on, I saw volume there. Let's see, here it is. Let's see if we can raise it. Now that highest volume, let me stay quiet. So the volume isn't terribly loud. Again, headphones or use your primary laptop as your speaker. You do get something, but it's really, really light, not too loud.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.